listen to your children praying. Oh, sing God's love, sing God's power, sing His grace. Something's gonna happen like the world never known. And Larnell Harris, I believe it is. When people of the Lord get down to pray, doors are gonna swing open and the walls come tumbling down. When the people of the Lord get down to pray. Yeah, that's a good one there. I heard that one on one of them stations, and I think it was Moody Broadcast System. I said, man, see if I can go and find that tape. There wasn't no CDs around the time that song came out. Yeah, CDs was brand new. It was a cassette tape. Larnell Harris. All right, listen, y'all. I've got a great show here. I might be looking like a robot right now because we got a lot of strain going on the computer. We were having technical issues, and so now we got to work out that whole, this whole glitchy thingy. Meanwhile, the show must go on. Okay, we're already late starting. I got my brothers here, and we're talking about prosperity in the church, or the lack thereof. Wealthy pastor, poor congregation. Tell your pastor he can't watch this one. Bass.
It's the show that will get you thinking, and where the topics are hot. Feel free to comment whether we agree or not, 'cause he's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones. He's got something to say. Sirwalterj Jones. Sirwalterj Jones Show.
Come on in. The water's fine.
Walter.
Hello, everybody. Sirwalterj Jones Show. I'm he. It is the evening edition.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, baby. Come on in. The water's fine, y'all. I see all y'all over here. Too many of y'all for me to name out, but there y'all are. This is part 2, y'all, of the family affair. Yesterday we was talking about the role of the husband, and we started off talking about the role of the husband, and y'all had a couple questions which led us to the role of the woman, the wifey. So you can't blame us if we didn't get too deep into the role of the husband, because y'all kept commenting and wondering, what about the obey part? Y'all made us spend 30 minutes on obey, and you still didn't agree with us, even though we gave you at least 2 or 3 scriptures. Y'all said, nah, obey is for slaves. Boy, I tell you, some of y'all, I ain't saying you're bipolar. I'm just saying you kind of act that way. Oh, man, these guys don't need no introduction. Go to yesterday's show for that. Today we're going to kick this right off with the prosperity message that should be correctly taught in our churches, okay? But what I noticed here, brothers, is when I was watching some of these, what you call those infomercials back in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, they were talking about real estate. It was big. Real estate was big on TV, and they were selling products and classes or what have you on how to invest in real estate. It would be a Asian guy or this white guy or something like that, and they would talk about how they became wealthy by real estate, through real estate. And then, of course, some of the news stations decided to dig into their history, and they discovered that these guys really didn't become wealthy by investing in real estate. They became wealthy by selling the how-to product to you. Yes.
Exactly.
That's how they became wealthy. All right. And I'm bringing that up because it seems like we're seeing that in the church as well. There's a lot of prosperity teaching going on in our churches, but the ones who are preaching prosperity they are the ones that are prospering based off of many of the members who are in the seats who are standing in that $1,000 line. I mean, I've seen lines that were $5,000, $10,000 lines based off of a promise of prosperity going to come to your home if you sow a so-called seed in that particular place. And that person who's doing this go from church to church to church, and they are wealthy only based off of the principle of people giving him money because he was teaching a gospel of prosperity. All right, so help us out here. Elder Jones, Dr. Jones on my left below. All right, he's a pastor of New Nation Anointed Ministries, and he can come on a pastoral point of view. And Brother Larry Jones is a YouTube sensation on how to invest in stocks. And we are blessed and honored to have these two here who have two different success stories. All right, and I thought it'd be I propose to have them back. And myself, of course, I am a award-winning author, and of course I have my channel, so I have several streams of income as well. All right, so which one of y'all want to kick this off with my intro? Why is it that so many of the members, or what they may call parishioners, are sitting in those churches and they are financially in debt?
Go ahead, Dr.
Thank you, nurse. I will start off with the problem is lack of understanding, lack of wisdom. I've noticed something about people. People love the get rich scheme.
Yeah.
They love the get rich overnight.
Right.
So that's why a lot of them are not willing to invest for long term. They hear a message. They don't care about salvation per se. They hear something that sounds like they can get money back quick, ASAP, as soon as possible. So they'll give and give and give until they don't have nothing else to give. So I'm gonna start off with saying one of the reasons is and poor management skills.
Poor management skills. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Brother Jones on the right.
Well, I'm actually on your left as I look to you.
Oh.
But anyway, on my right, I guess. There's a lot to unpack with this one, and I do mean a lot. Number one, when other cultures need financial advice, they go to the financial markets or the financial brokers. When they need educational advice, they go to the educational circuit. And if they need a medical assistance, they go to the medical. And if they need mental, they go to the mental. In our culture, we go to the pastor for everything. And that is a huge mistake because we put all our trust in the pastor. We line everything with the church and the pastor. And it is not scriptural. It is not biblical. It has been a downfall. And a lot of pastors don't know, they're not skilled in these areas. And the best thing for a pastor to do is to gear you in the right direction. But we come under this, I know, we have this I know thing. Really, I know everything. And I could tell you, I talk to 500,000 people every week. The hardest people it is to teach something is a pastor. Because a lot of pastors, I'm just going to look you in the eye and tell you the truth, have the I know spirit. And that I know spirit will block you from flourishing.
Yeah.
Then you line yourself up with that pastor. And I'm telling you, I have a problem when I go to a church and the only nice car in the entire parking lot is the pastor's.
Right.
I can also tell you this. If I was an evangelist, I would never go to the rich neighborhoods. I would only travel in poor neighborhoods and go to poor churches.
Yep.
And I would shout to people and telling them, you coming up, your light bills is past due. Yeah. You're downtrodden. Yeah. You're going to get a blessing. Then I'll line you up and take your last money. And then I'm going to my next victims. And because when we allow ourselves, I call it the herd mentality or sheep mentality. We have allowed our churches, a lot of the people in the churches, whether you want to admit it or not, are just sheep. And we're just in line running and falling off a financial cliff. And I believe God called me to like get on the bullhorn and just yell, stop it. And here's a way out. So I'm going to pass it on because I'm just loaded on this. I got too much to talk about on this subject, but you keep it rolling, Walter.
No, that was good. Good points to make. It works the same way in the political world. Politicians have thrived on the poor, and I'm not either Democrat or Republican, but I will say, because my audience is mostly African American, which means they are probably mostly Democrats.
Yep.
The Democratic Party has literally
absolutely
took a straw and sucked the life out of the black community.
Yes.
Especially in the impoverished area. And so when you see if you see a Democratic city, you're going to see a lot of poverty. A lot of poverty.
Why is it that there's 9 million unfilled jobs, but the government want to cut $300 checks, child credit checks?
Yeah.
They want to keep you
Yep.
physically and financially in bondage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And only one reason. The Democratic Party does this to us.
Yes.
To us.
Yes.
And that's because they control your vote.
Yep. That's right.
And they have black people and church people brainwashed that we care about you.
Yes.
They don't. They care about your vote.
Right.
They will bleed the government. They will just print money after money after money to keep you financially in bondage just to control your vote.
Absolutely.
And I'm an independent.
Yeah, me too. And the black woman is the highest. The membership of the Democratic Party is mostly black women.
Yes.
All right. Which caused another issue here.
Another issue.
Because that is an emotional vote.
It is.
And that's not and this is not nothing against you. Women, God made you emotional.
You have to speak the truth.
You better have to speak the truth. Doc, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, which one? About speaking the truth or about the emotional or about
all that.
First of all, you'll find out that people don't want the truth.
True.
It's easy for me to lie to you than me to tell you the truth.
That's true.
And we move off of emotions. And that's why I'm so strong and hearted and forward in my teachings at the church, because I don't want, as Daddy would say, I don't want no trouble at the gate. And though I am a pastor, I try, my concern is about the whole total man. That's number one. And number two, I stopped doing church work years ago. I do what's called kingdom work. In other words, you don't have to be a member of the church where I pastor, since it's not my church. You don't have to be a member of the church where I pastor for me to help you, to reach out, to instruct you, to teach you, to care for you, to pray for you, to see you through, or whatever the case may be. Which is why I've even included now in our Thursday sessions health classes. Because we sanctified, we got the tambourine, or we can play a mean drum, but our health is messed up, our finances is jacked up, and our education is suffering because we spend too much time in one area and we're not dealing with a balance. So yes, my sisters are what we call in the work field a double minority.
Yep.
Because the government says that a certain percentage of these jobs have to have minorities in there. And a black girl is called a double minority because she is a woman and she's black.
Right.
And therefore, a lot of your businesses, your owners, especially white owners in the construction field, have black women put the business in their name. And she gets more contracts. And that's how they play it.
That's
and then
true.
he becomes an employee and employer. So he get money on both sides of the field. And so that's what I want to say about that. I'll slow it down until we get to the nitty gritty and the meat of the word.
Sure. There are someone that I think is John asked a question about the Republic. She says, "Isn't it about both parties guilty of something?" Well, again, notice what I said. Most of the people here are Democrats.
That's true.
Most of them are Democrats. Even you might see one or two here that may say they're Republicans. So it doesn't make any sense to even talk about the Republican Party right now. Well, most of our black pastors vote Democratic. All right. Now, there was a shift when Trump came on the scene and they started jumping ship because they saw that they heard Trump say something that he was going to do about the church, that he was going to bless the church.
He played the Jesus card.
He played the Jesus card. He did. That's exactly what he
played
did.
People. Yeah.
And the black pastors jumped over there and then they ran back crying. They ran back crying. All right. So that's why I'm bringing up the Democratic Party. So let's talk about the influence of pastors over the flock per se. Now, there's a lot of money flows through the church. Billions of dollars come through the church every year. Okay,
Yes.
I mean countless billions. And the number one place where the church monies go is the salaries. I did this show last week. Number one, it goes to the salaries, and then it goes towards the bills, meaning the rent or the mortgage and the utilities and stuff like that. And the average church don't really own that building. It's the bank owns it. You know, the bank owns it. And so the monies that come into the churches, not enough money. There's not enough money left to give to the hungry, the starving, the needy, home or foreign missions. Really, it's not. It's only, they said, about maybe 10% is left out of the billions that are saved.
I can hear I don't know if it's comments. What is that popping?
It's the comments. We're used to it.
Is there a way to mute that?
Yeah, he could, but he probably don't know how to do it.
Yeah, and then if I mute it, I won't be able to hear y'all because it's picking up through this, coming through this microphone here.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
So bear with it. I got used to it, so I don't hear it anymore.
Yeah. I'll show you later, but there is a button to turn that sound. It's called sound. Turn the sound off.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. My people are kind of used to it. Larry
yeah,
Jones,
and I got on headphones, Larry, so you can imagine how I feel.
Yeah. These
Rodney.
These,
hey, Rodney. These amateurs.
Sir?
Oh.
These
amateurs.
These wealthy people.
Those in the upper level up there. Them the amateurs.
You
notice he elevated himself.
A guy married a white woman. Now he think he everything.
Out there in Indiana. Now, Walter, back up something. You mentioned about the salary of the church, right? Now, I spoke to somebody about this the other day. One of the problems that we as pastors, and I'm bold enough to say it, what we don't recognize is everybody that steps foot in that church are all volunteers.
Yes.
They don't get no money.
Yes.
Okay? And that's another reason why I'm very careful as a pastor. It hurts me to see the pastor yelling at, jumping and whooping the ushers, the deacons, the this and the that. When these people are there because they're trying to help you with your ministry.
Right.
So from time to time, I always give somebody something and say, here, thank you. Here, go get some gas. Here, take your family out. Hey, don't do that. Go home, relax yourself. I'll take care of that myself. Because the pastor, although I'm not on salary, but at least they might raise an offering for me. But you got people on the mother's board, you got the staff that's cleaning the church. They ain't got no money, but you know what? They're still expecting them to give money.
Yep.
And we done killed these building funds until I don't want to hear about a building fund no more.
Yeah, we have killed the building fund, and then the auxiliaries, they are told to empty their funds out of their bank accounts to go either to the pastor's anniversary or the church anniversary. Empty.
And that's a cardinal sin.
Empty it, including the missions offering. Empty it. All right, yeah. and we've been watching this. I talked about this at 3:00 today. Got in trouble for it. I don't care. We've been watching this go on, and so when someone's house catch fire, a faithful tithe payer, a faithful offering payer, he cannot go back to the church for help. They may raise him $200 or something like that, maybe, we don't know, and say, all right, be well and fed. We did what we can do. When billions of dollars are raised in these churches collectively, only 10% goes. So the first century church actually sold and borrowed and bought stuff amongst themselves. Did they not, Elder Jones?
Yes, sir.
The first century church.
And the first century church, yes. And I'm going to have to step to the door because my missus is downstairs trying to do something. But
I hit it off.
Yes.
Hey, Walter, she got him trained right.
She got him trained.
Yeah, I'm obeying her. I'm obeying her from last night. She asked me to open the door, so
Make sure you submit yourself before you obey her.
But that first century church, and what's unique about it is we don't see where anybody required them to do it.
Right.
We don't see that. We see the Holy Spirit, and then we see an outbreak of the Holy Spirit. Then we see people coming together, bringing everything to the table, bringing everything to the storehouse or to the church. And then the church is supporting itself. The church in the first century are not looking for the government to support the church. And the Bible speaks about they had all things, either it says all things common or all things in common. Nobody was greater, nobody was lesser, and nobody was really greedy because God killed the greedy ones.
Yeah, he did.
The husband and wife,
he
lied. Killed them.
Yeah.
They lied. And so now watch this now. You don't see nobody telling them to do it, but they lied against the Holy Spirit according to what they said that they was going to bring.
Right.
And
so my question is, so my question
like
is,
stinking dogs.
How is it that when Mother Smith is in need, Mother Smith got to go to the government when she placed all of her money into the church?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Wow.
That's a shame.
I'll be black.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
For the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life, you're going to be black, bro. And the first century church, or Paul, through 2 Corinthians, said, we're going to collect some offerings to give to the other churches that were going through. So the church itself, Larry, was a unit of itself that was raising money for itself first.
Right.
All right, and they couldn't do any evangelistic work unless we all strengthen ourselves financially and in health and what have you. And it's the same aspect on the airplane about the mask coming down.
Right.
They told you put it on yourself first.
Secure yourself first.
Okay, help us out with that whole talking point.
Well, it's just like, man, we about to get in some serious trouble tonight.
Good.
So this is on you. So anyway, I told somebody that was just starting a church, and he was trying to keep up with all of these reports, district reports, state reports, and I said, it is physically, financially, and physically impossible for you to grow this church, have what this church needs, and to meet all of those needs. Yeah. It's impossible.
That's true.
And when you just start out as a church, and especially a storefront church, you wonder why storefront churches are still storefront churches 10 years down the road. Yeah. Because you're set up to fail. You are set up perfectly to fail. Number one, the church needs to be able to take care of its members first.
Right.
And then build up to where it could take care of its community.
Yes.
So if someone in the community needs to eat or whatever type of issues they have, they should be able to come to the church.
Yeah.
There should be more churches offering help than government centers.
Right.
Because the church should be set up that way. And we've gotten away from that.
Right.
And a lot of times we blame the people when it's actually the church that's in fault. And
Yes.
because the church is in fault, we're no longer there. I was a member of a church many, many years ago in the 80s, and I'm not calling any name. And I was chairman of a deacon board. We raised an offering for a specific thing. The minute we went into the office to chop it up, one of the deacons came to me and said, "Hey, pastor needs this. We're going to give it to him." I said, no, we not. And yeah, we got to give it to him because he needs money. I said, then you just stood out before the people and lied to the people.
Lied to them.
And you know what I did? I reached in that. You're going to think I reached in there and grabbed my money back out, put it in my pocket, and I resigned.
Both
I
dollars?
said, I'm not. What's that?
All $2.
Both,
I
both
took
dollars?
my $1.50 and I resigned. I resigned because I didn't want to be a part of that lie.
Yeah.
And you know, talk about woke culture, because that's immoral. It's illegal.
Right.
It's against spiritual and carnal law.
Yeah.
And if you call yourself a non-for-profit, you just broke that rule also.
Absolutely.
So you should lose everything, and everybody in that church has the right to sue you.
Yeah.
And we want to be unethical with our business, and we want to prosper. It's not going to work.
Right. Yeah. And the church, it used to be, especially during the civil rights era, the church was everything.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, they were everything.
Yeah.
Well, notice every time you watch
Yes.
an old civil rights documentary, they always at the
Yeah.
church. They're
Yes,
always
sir.
at the church. And
Now, I wasn't there, but it was said Al Capone gave money to the Catholic Church. They said he was a tither.
yeah.
He just said he was a faithful tither.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the church was the beacon light, the pinnacle of the neighborhood was the church. That steeple represented something. As phallus as it is,
It does.
okay, it still
And two
represents.
things. But he also understood the principle of giving.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's the key thing. Giving is a principle.
Yeah.
You
Yes.
don't even have to have faith to give.
That's true.
That's true.
Because God created those laws. He created principles.
Right.
If you put a
Right.
seed in the ground, you ain't got to have faith for it to grow.
Right.
It's going to work on its own.
Yeah.
And
Can I
our
say something?
Sure.
So I had a pastor came to me while I was out here, and
I'm sorry to hear
I told him the church that I was going to, and this pastor said, "Hey man, why don't you come and work with me?" Number one, that's backwards. Y'all pastors quit saying that. Doc, I need you. Yeah, people don't go to church because you need them. They go to church where it's a spiritual fit. Submitting yourself under a ministry is like marriage. Why would you go somewhere where you're spiritually dying? Number one, I'm not going to get off on that tangent, but I looked him in the eye and I told him, and he never said anything after this. I said, I will never, ever be a member of a church where every dime that's raised every Sunday, year in and year out, is a necessity just to operate the
Yep.
church.
That's the problem.
That means the church is out of order. If that church has no money left over for outreach, somebody's a crook. And I looked at him and I said that, and he never asked me again.
He cannot, because the church is upside down, Larry. The church is supposed to be a fiduciary operation. Okay?
You better explain the word fiduciary.
If you're in insurance,
You better spell it first.
if you're in insurance, you need to know what that means. Especially if you're in investment. Fiduciary is an investment usually used in investment terms. That they have to tell you the truth. They can't sugarcoat or what y'all call the fine prints and all that stuff. No, the fine prints are loud. They ain't quiet and soft and invisible ink. We are telling you the truth on behalf of your best interest. We got your best interest at heart. That's fiduciary. And the church supposed to be a fiduciary organization. Unfortunately, they're not. All right, because they won't. There's a lot of misappropriations of funds going on there.
The church that I attend right now, Walter, any member can walk in that church, including on Sundays, walk into the secretary's office and pull a financial report that shows where every dime of the money goes. And it has been that way since I've been there for the last 10 years.
Yeah, my church too.
And pastors shouldn't feel challenged because a member wants to know.
That's so true. Yeah, that's
you know what? The pastor's not in charge of that at my church.
Yeah, well, mine either.
Go preach.
Mine either.
Well,
mine either. Yeah, there
because
must be an organization.
A lot of times that's where the problem is. The pastor's not an administrator. He's a pastor. Go pastor and let administrators administrate.
Yeah.
And pastors that want to do everything, those are the ones that are control freaks, crooks, and set up for failure. And they don't trust God's policy to work. They don't trust God. I'm gonna just say it. They don't trust God. Because if you do it right, preach righteousness, and do things right, God will bless it.
Yes.
Let's just break this thing wide open. A lot of pastors don't trust God. They revert back to, I have to do this because the people might do this. It's out of fear. As a matter of fact, when you teach tithing correctly, you will have an influx in your offering. You will literally have more people. You will have an influx in your offering when you preach it correctly. The reason why a lot of preachers are scared to preach that will a man rob God correctly because they are fearful that people will hold back, and that's not the truth.
Yeah, I just had my my anniversary, Sir Walter, and his brother Larry Jones, the third. I was asked, how much are we going to assess the people? And I told them we're not. I don't ever want to assess somebody to give an offering to me. And I don't care if they give it or not, because God never told me to go into all the world and receive an offering. He told me to go into all the world and preach the gospel. And since God called me and gifted me, since pastoring is a gift, the fivefold ministry is a gift. And since God gifted me to pastor, I believe God is the one who's going to take care of whatever I need.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to kill myself, number one, and I'm not going to kill my family, number two, and I'm not going to kill the members of the church just to hold a building or whatever.
Right.
And so
now, when I was with Go ahead. When I was with you last week, Rodney, I'm sorry.
That was fun. I like that.
When I was with you last week, I was impressed because I sat with you on your drive-through, and the young woman came in with her child hungry. And I sat back. And I sat back and I watched the church at work. Number one, you already had a food pantry set up. You told the young lady, hey, go get her, prepare her a meal to go, because the person that normally do it wasn't there. You had another one. You said, go in there and prepare them some food. Then you asked, are you hungry?
Right now.
And then you went and got some cooked food for her and her daughter to eat. And then that enticed me to give. See, that enticed me.
And then I went in my pocket.
And then you went in your pocket and gave her money. Okay? And so I'm telling you guys, ministry should never chase money. Money will always chase ministry, true ministry.
When the money is set aside for the people of God, and then we can go outward. Now, if the church was honest about tithing, the people would give. What I mean by that is,
that's true.
If they told the people we need this money for this,
exactly,
the people will give. But when you are manipulating the people, saying that God's going to strike your car until you can't, it won't turn on, and your light's going to get turned on. When you start scaring people, that puts the people into a compulsionary mindset of giving, and it's not coming from the heart, which is against or anti-Bible. All right. And so, you're going to raise some money, but what you're doing now is, can God even bless that? Because the people are giving because they are scared that
and
God
then
is going to kill.
you call for the musicians
It's 10 o'clock.
and say, God loves a cheerful giver right behind that. Then you say, God loves a cheerful giver. And then you crank up the music. Now you want me to be scared about being strike dead.
Yep.
Because you just spoke a curse over me.
You just spoke a curse over us.
It makes no sense.
None.
Stop it.
None.
Stop it. Number one, read and understand your Bible.
Yeah.
First of all, that scripture, he was talking to the leaders of the church in the first place. That's your mail.
Yeah.
Don't read your mail to me.
Right.
And we need to. I can't stand ignorance no more in 2021. Because we're supposed to empower the people.
Yeah.
If we empower the people,
important.
then
That's
the
important.
people become stronger. Then the church is stronger if the people are strong.
Yes, sir.
That's
That's
Say
the way
that
it works.
again.
Yes, and that's true. Now, my people were there for me Sunday. I had slashed tires. All my neighbors did. If my neighbors were a part of my church, they'd have been blessed too. Okay? My CashApp was going off only because Pastor says now the brother couldn't get here, but I got there late. He just made a little mention of it. And people all that day was trying to bless me to get a tire. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they knew there was a need there. And and they wouldn't have just did that just for me. You understand?
Right.
Anybody in that church would have gotten that kind of attention. I would never be a part of that church if I didn't think that that's what the people are used to doing. Because my church is a missions church, a missions mind. We've given countless thousands around the world, and we have a food pantry like Doc Jones do. All right. So with all that being said, we've got to find a way to get this message to some of these pastors who may not even understand this whole concept of equipping the people. If you equip the people with the right information, they will give more, and then their homes will be blessed.
Listen, I was a part of a board, and because we were doing outreach, and the board I was on was for outreach. An anonymous stranger was so moved, business owner, he cut a check for $50,000 so we can continue to do what we're doing. Don't even go to the church. People want to see their money being put to good
That's
use.
my point.
And they will
right
give it
now,
to you
if you're
without
listening
a
to-
problem.
Right.
Say that again.
They'll give to you without a
They
problem.
will give it to you without a
Absolutely.
problem.
Right now, we're at the end of the year, and I know we're going to get into some stuff and help to empower the people, just making money, period. Right now, wealthy people, are looking for tax write-offs.
Correct.
I tell you where they're not giving. They're not giving to fund your Cadillac,
Right.
for you to get even a bigger house, for your wife to be walking around in furs. we not giving. I'm sorry, Rodney.
Sorry, man.
That's not where my money is going. My money is going to where, and I'm gonna see to it that my money is going where I see it is meeting the need. Can I tell you a quick story? My you know my good friend Pastor Todd. He might be. So he and I were vacationing in Maui some years ago. The lottery was almost $1 billion. Right? You guys remember that? And we were walking on the shore, and I said, "Let's dream for a minute." I says, "What would you do with $1 million?" And he told me what he would. I mean, $1 billion. He told me what he would do. Then he asked me, "What would you do with $1 billion?" I says, "I tell you what I wouldn't do." Now I know I'm finna get in trouble, y'all. You got my back, Walter?
I got it because I heard the story.
Right. I said I wouldn't give it all to our church.
I wouldn't either.
Huh?
Sure wouldn't.
I said I wouldn't give it to all our church.
No.
And I says our church is doing a good work. I wouldn't give it all our church. I said, what church do you know needs $100 million?
Right.
What church do you know needs $100 million? You know the first thing they're going to do. I don't care if they got 30 members. They're going to build a 5,000 seat sanctuary.
That's what they're going to do. And go back into debt.
And excuse my language, just piss that money away.
Yep,
because
go
it's going
back
into
into it.
foreclosure.
Yes, it is.
Because if you can't, building a building don't bring in people.
No.
You got to change this first.
Yep.
So, and I told them, I says I would probably find about 10 charities and about 10 churches.
Yep.
And I would split it up, and I would be hands-on how that money is dispersed.
Yep.
I would give away way more than 10%. I know me. I says, but I'm not laying that into nobody's hand.
No.
And that is the truth.
Yep. No, someone asked me to, some friend of ours is raising money for a new building. And one of the members asked me for a donation. I told her no.
Yeah.
I told her I'm not
I got
building.
that too.
Yeah, I'm not building any more churches. We got enough. I'm not building them. Y'all sharing walls. Go up and down Chicago Avenue, and y'all literally are sharing the same wall. The church next door is next to each other. Okay, it's ridiculous, but yet more crime is on that 1 mile strip than anywhere. And you got 600 churches, and it's the most highly crime. Y'all ain't doing nothing but just hoarding that money. No, I'm not.
And
building
you don't know the neighbors to the left or to the right.
No,
of
you don't.
You've never been outside the four walls.
No, we got too many. Show me something that's going on in that neighborhood. The neighborhood don't even know you. They don't even know what the pastor look like. Y'all ain't knocking on those doors.
I just said that to my elder today. I says, my brother Larry said something finally in his life that was powerful. And he says that if your church closes and your community says nothing or does nothing, your church needs to close.
Needs to close.
Yeah. If your church closing
Right now,
and nobody misses it being
and
closed.
nobody. Yeah. I just got back. That's why I had to go let the missus in who lost her keys.
Yeah.
We feed on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you how it happened. I'll be real brief because I think somebody made something about
Michelle Casey. I'll send it to you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Number one, I got a call from somebody, and they asked me, did I have a family that needs some food? This is right before the pandemic hit. And I says, I got 3 families that need food. He brought me food for that family. I began to feed that family, okay? Then he started bringing it every week. Then I said, you know what we can do? I'm gonna make sure, because I have to. I don't care what nobody say. As a pastor, I got to make sure that the members of the church are fed first.
Yeah.
Then when we took care of that, there is a senior residence, maybe 4 or 5 doors down from us. I says, let's let the seniors of that residence know that we have food for them. They can come and eat. And then my wife came up with the other idea is when we get through feeding the church, and then when we get through feeding the seniors, then she got a table and open up the door and put boxes in, and we feed the community. And we've been doing that before the pandemic hit. We've only missed 3 times. There is a business across the street that help people who are struggling and all that. They now call us, asking us, are we feeding on Tuesdays so we can, so they can send people towards us.
The community should be crying if your church leaves. The community.
Exactly.
The community should literally be weeping if the church leaves.
We started the prayer thing where we went outside. We had 30, 40, 50, 60 cars and people that was coming saying we need prayer. Larry, Walter, what blessed me is when I saw 2 big CTA buses pulled over to the side coming up to the church to get some food. Just because they drive a bus don't mean that they got plenty of food at home.
That's true.
Then we started feeding, praying for the community. Now that slowed down because of the pandemic. All right.
Right.
We would pray for them, and we open up the parking lot. They pull up, tell us what it is. We pray for them. We give them some food because my son was barbecuing, and they gone out the door. Didn't ask him for a dime. I didn't ask him what church they went to. My concern was I wanted to pray for them. Okay. Yeah. And then number 3, Larry, you remember this, and Walt as well. We started training our young people about money.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when we got to that certain time, we took 8 to 12 young people across the street to the bank, and then we opened up bank accounts for them. and we were getting ready to do some things around the church so that they can start putting money more and more into there. But then this pandemic hit, and it kind of slowed us down. My concern.
Hey, Rodney. Also,
Yes,
tell
sir.
them what happened when I had you teaching me this live stream. I didn't know. Good people, I know all about recording and audio, and I'm a producer and all of that. But when it comes to live streaming, Rodney taught me everything I know about live streaming. So I had him come to do my live stream last year when I hit when I hit 100,000. Remember, it was around Christmas
100,000.
time, and you guys were feeding the community. And I said,
we was giving back to the community. Yeah,
giving back to the community. I said, my brother is giving back to the community. You guys be a blessing to him. And they were giving what's called super chats.
Yeah,
He had $300 before he walked out of my door. How much money did people send you? Total strangers.
it was not the super chat. It was the Cash App.
Cash
You
App.
told
I said,
them,
post your Cash
yeah,
App.
because we had just fed 100 people hot cooked meals,
Yeah.
and we gave them free haircuts to give back to the community. And within 2 days, I had received, because of your request, I had received $1,400 that went straight into my Cash App. And I used some of that money to start my investment. And then, of course, some of that money took care of the missus. And then, of course, I'm always giving back to members of the church or whatever.
Yes.
So my Cash App always
Yes.
go up, and it goes back down, because I'm
Right.
always giving out. And I never
Right.
worry about it, because
Yes.
before my head hits the pillow, God is going to replenish my needs.
They were Cash Apping, so we can be clear. They were Cash Apping. They said, we want you to use this for you, because I was saying that he had poured out. And so that's
Exactly.
why we have to understand ministry should not chase money. Money will chase ministry down.
Every time.
I'm
Every
telling
time.
you what I know.
Yeah. So let's get into the money then. All right.
Okay.
Let's find a way that we can help the people on shoring up their own homes, because everything starts in the home first before we get
True.
to that church. Because Dr. Jones, remember what the scripture says about the man. He talked about the he that desires the office of a bishop desire a good thing, and then he gave him a little pecking order, and he told him that if even if his children don't hold him in respect at home or grave, that how can he come to the church and try to rule in the church, and his house is in disarray.
His house is in disarray.
Yeah, he's lazy, or he's supposed to be known without the church as well as within. The scriptures alluded to calling him, he's worse than an infidel, okay?
Right.
Worse than the infidel, yeah.
Yes, so the home is first, all right? So let's talk about streams of income. All three of us have different streams, okay? What do y'all think is the minimum number of streams of income that a person should have? The minimum.
You go ahead, Rodney.
I would say, number one, it depends on the need of the homeowner and their total, for instance, back in the day when I had 8, 7, 6 children, my need was greater, but now it's not as great. But yet I still got at least 3 streams of income coming in. So for me,
Monique said the same time you did.
Monique, see, me and Monique,
she
we own it.
said
We
the
own
same
it,
time
Monique.
you did.
Come on, Monique.
Come
I
on,
like you
Monique.
already. Come on now, you all right with me?
She all right,
I don't care
she all
what
right.
Walter Jones said about you. So yeah, I think 3 streams is good, because that's what's holding me right now. 3 or 4 streams is what I think is pretty good.
Absolutely. Brother Jones, what do you think? Minimum?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Hold on. I'm trying to adjust these screens here.
All right, I'll tell you mine,
Yeah.
and then you can come back. I can come back to you. I agree with
Go ahead.
I agree with Doc. I say minimum 3. Now, if you have a main job, your 9 to 5, the one that's paid like your insurance and your 401ks and stuff like that. That, of course, that's your stream. That's your main stream. But you should be working on at least 2 more if you can find the time. We're going to talk about time management also on here. you have to go to Larry Jones's show where he talks about the 8. We'll bring that up in just a few minutes. But that main job should be used to fund other things. Okay, it should be used to pay. Of course, it pays your expenses. Okay, but that new stream that you set up is where you can use that as play money. And then when I say play, that don't mean waste. That means
Right.
involve yourself in the stock market. Involve yourself. Whether it's a cryptocurrency or whether it's gold. Okay, whether it's ETFs. Okay, whether it's into the into real estate, whether it's real estate like physical real estate or whether it's REITs. Okay, that could be your money to really play with. All right, and then the other stream can do something else. Maybe talk about a 529 plan for your children or your grandchildren. So as far as I'm concerned, I decided to write books. All right, and I decided to write a 7-book series, and it was difficult writing that first book, but I knew I couldn't do it myself, so I reached out and hired a few people who can help me get it going. So that means the editor and a person who can structure this and structure that. So once I got it up on Amazon, my first check surprised me. Well, it didn't surprise me as much because I'm good at advertising. But my first check was huge. It was several $100s for just that first release because I was talking about the buzz of the book for months, and the people were investing in the book before I even wrote a note, a word. So when the book sold, it was just selling like hotcakes. And then I figured, okay, that's going to be a stream. So I started writing more books. So I have 3 on there. So every month. Amazon pays me for that stream. Meanwhile, I'm talking about the book on YouTube, and I was only going, like you guys know, I was only going live maybe once or twice a week. All right, and it was I always had the idea to go live as much as possible, maybe every day, but I got caught up doing other stuff, and Larry said, Walter, go live every day, and he said.
Yeah.
And he said, now, and fix that thumbnail. Fix your thumbnail. I said, yeah, I know to fix it. I know to do that. But just saying, I know, ain't helping you. It ain't helping you. So one day I said, okay, let me just fix my thumbnail and go live every day. And I did that for 30 days straight. And the biggest check I had ever got from YouTube came and it hit my account. And I had to look at my account 3 times because I thought something's wrong. There's no way that YouTube paid me all of that, for going live every day. All right. So that brought that second stream. Now, all of us are shooting online classes. Doc Jones, you're shooting a class on Bible study. I'm doing it as well, but I'm also shooting a relationship class, and Larry Jones is shooting an investment class. All right, so there's always potential streams that you can add on to the 1 or the 2 or the 3 that you got. Dr. Jones, you also sell your notes, don't you?
Yes, sir, and I put my tools down. I sell my notes now. I don't sell them. People give me a donation for my notes. My notes, you can't give nothing less than 99 cents. There are some people who give $100 because sometimes my notes is 12 pages.
Yeah.
That means I've been doing a lot of study. I want to say this. I want to read a passage of scripture, if I may. John, the 13th chapter, the 27th, the 29th verse, because something was said about Jesus. Now, my Cash App is my fun app. What I mean by that, I use my Cash App to bless my family whenever my children is in need, and church people or anybody. In other words, if a member said, Sunday, we have a member, Walter, just joined. She just joined, right? And then when she sat down, she says, I'm going to be missing for 2 weeks. I'm going to Mississippi to see my mother. I went right in my pocket and got $60 out, right? And I said, listen, I'm from the old school. Those of you that will help me, let's pay for her tank of gas and let's give her some food. And before we know it, she almost had $200 just like that.
Yeah.
Just join the church. And you know what? I believe that God will replenish that before I get home. So I'm never worried. Another way why the church that I'm pastoring have survived is because of my notes. Because there are people who send it to the church's account. And I just said, let it sit there. So the church we never had a problem. We never missed a bill. And I spend 1 minute raising the offering. I don't do these offering sermons. I don't do tithe sermons at the church. I don't have time for it. I spend all of my time teaching and preaching to people about life and about God. Now watch this. I want to read this. When Jesus was in the upper room with his disciples, remember the Bible says, and after the sop, Satan entered into him. Then said Jesus unto him, that thou doest, do quickly. Verse 28, John 13:20 says, now no man at the table knew for what intent he spake this unto him. For some of them thought, because Judas had the bag, that Jesus had said unto him, buy those things that we have need of against the feast, or that he should give something to the poor. That told me something, that Jesus apparently had something to the side for the poor.
You did.
For them to assume, let me use my other camera. Thank you, Larry. For them
with my
to
camera.
Assume that boy ain't got no sense at all. For his disciples to assume that he must be getting ready to help the poor, that means that Jesus had a ministry or money set to the side to help the poor.
He did.
And that's what I start the benevolence fund at the church for more than one reason. Number one, I have what I call Sup with the Seniors. Every week, I want to make sure that they have food at the church, and I sometimes take coffee and sip with them and talk with them. That's all I'm saying. So from that, I'm looking at that if Jesus can do it, why can't we as pastors and we as churches have something? That's why they kept going to the temple and laying him at the temple, which is called Beautiful, whatever, because I believe, according to Jewish custom, that they were to have something in the temple for the poor.
Yeah.
And I think every church ought to have a benevolence fund for more than just the members, but for people who come off the street that are in need. And so therefore, my Cash App is used for that purpose. Somebody come up to me and say, I need it. What's your Cash App? Here it is. God's going to replace it before I go to sleep.
That's good stuff. Larry Jones, I want to talk about time management as you also speak on what we just did. The people are saying, listen, I got a 9 to 5. I don't have time. When I wake up for work, I work my 8 hours. I'm tired. You know, I've got to cook and take care of the kids, and then I only have enough time to go to bed. So I have no time for any kind of extra income. Help us out with that.
Busyness is a tool that's used by the devil to hold us back. Let me say that again. Necessary busyness is a tool that is used by the devil to hold us back.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys right now, and I'm about to operate in my true gift, and that's connecting with individuals and helping them to find their why. I went in my basement and I meditated, and God showed me in 2020 that the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of the world is happening right now.
Right now.
And will be on fire for the next 5 years.
Come on, man.
And that's what God showed me. God also charged me to help get the word out and to help to educate the people. And that's what I've been doing since 2020. And yes, my 7th stream will be finished in my my class. Okay. My smallest stream is bigger than what I used to make yearly. And I'm not going to get on here and even discuss how much I make. But I can tell you it's more money than I can ever imagine in my life. Mm-hmm. And this started while my wife and I both filed for unemployment. While we were at the bottom, while both of our jobs, the rug got pulled from under our feet. That's when I started. And that's when God spoke to me. I'm going to tell you right now, my good friend Ron Lewis says this, and I did it in my message last night. And I just want you to think about 3 8s, okay? Take a notepad and draw an 8. We're supposed to work, what, 8 hours a day. Now, I know some of you guys don't work 8 hours. Some of you work way more than 8 hours. You're supposed to work 8 hours a day, right? Then you're supposed to sleep 8 hours a day. That's 16 hours, right? But here's what I want you to never forget. There's a third 8 hours, and that 8 hours is yours. You get to do whatever you want to do in that 8 hours. You add all 3 8s up, you got 24 hours. What happens for 1 month, 1 year, 10 years, 30 years, we squander that 8 hours away.
Yes, we do.
That 8 hours becomes 80,000 hours. We just squander it away. And we wake up one day, we're 72.
Yes.
And we never did anything with that 8
Nothing.
hours. We're sheep. It's time to wake up. This is a wake up message. This is going to be one of the best messages you ever heard in your life. So what do we do with that 8 hours, Larry? I'm going to tell you this. You cannot save your way to be financially set. You can't do it. The system is set up against that.
That's right.
But what you can do is find something that you're good at and that other people will pay you for it. Like Dr. Jones's notes.
Yeah.
And invest that. You have to get online. And what I want you guys to get accustomed to doing is when you come home, I want you to discuss it with your husbands and your wives. You say, hey, when I get home, the first half hour is mine. And what I want you to do with that half hour, I don't care if it takes you a year. I want you to find out not what you're passionate about, but what you're good at. And then when you find what that is, then you try to connect the person that want that. Everybody has a gift. God created everybody with a gift. And if you don't have a gift, you could dog sit, dog watch, you could spell check. There's a company called Fiverr, Fiverr. Just Google it, Fiverr.com. Just about anything you could do, they will find you the client that will pay you, and Fiverr will pay you. And that's all you have to do is do it. You could Uber, you could DoorDash 4 hours on the weekend.
But that's
here's the
beneath me.
trick.
But that's beneath me.
Okay, let me
Ubering.
tell you something.
Uber's beneath me.
Let me
Yeah,
tell you.
so is your bank
I'm
account.
gonna just share this with you guys. In 2018, you guys know it. I would leave Crown Point, Indiana, and go downtown Chicago, and I would drive Uber. And I would drive sometimes Friday night from 7 until daylight the next morning until Uber kicked me off. My wife calling me all the night. And you know what? And saying, you're going to kill yourself. And this was after I got through with my 50-hour-a-week job because I was investing it. And I wanted to build up the investment. Okay? But I'm going to tell you guys that in 2020 was such a bull market in stocks and now in crypto. I was able to triple my portfolio. And now that I've built up to where I am now, I have companies every day offering me $30,000 to talk about their company for 10 minutes. And I'm telling you that whatever your gift is, someone wants to pay you for it.
That's
because
right.
they don't want to do it. They don't have that gift. But you need to spend time. That 8 hours that I was talking about, you haven't spent any time. Because when we get home, we want to chill, we want to relax, we want to watch the game, we want to Facebook, we want to YouTube. If you're going to be on YouTube, YouTube is the second largest Google in the world.
Right.
It is. Search engine.
Search engine.
YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. Google is number 1 and Facebook is number 2. I'm sorry, and YouTube is number 2, and Google owns YouTube because YouTube is who pays me monthly. Okay? So I'm letting you guys know that you have to have your money working for you, because one day you're going to be heading to work, and the money, especially if you invest it right and you have compounded interest, what your money makes daily will out-earn you going to work. That's a beautiful situation, good people. When you wake up in the morning and put your suit on, you look to the left and your money is putting its suit on. When you wake up in the morning, put your work boots on, and your money is putting its work boots on. Here's the difference. You come home alone, and your money comes home with a gang of money. Yeah. Then when you get ready to go to sleep, you look to your left again, and you go, aren't you going to sleep, money? The money goes, no, I work while you sleep. I never take a sick day off, and I'm just going to be, every time you see me, I'm going to be bringing some of my buddies home. That's a beautiful thing. We have to understand this.
It's passive income.
It's passive income. Mm-hmm. It's passive income. This is one of the things that wealthy people do. Every day. Before I became wealthy, I understood one principle. If you want to be wealthy, do what wealthy people do. Yes. And wealthy people's money makes money for them. Yes, sir. So I want you to take some time, find out what your why is. And let me tell you, society has lied to you and said it's what you're passionate about. That's not true. It's what you're good at. Yeah. Because what I found out is you will become passionate about what you're good at. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I don't care if one person hears me today, I'm telling you it will be life-changing. Now, knowing what I know, because I spend 12 hours a day in the market and making videos and crypto, I took $2,400. This is the one thing I am going to say. I took my wife's stimulus check and my stimulus check, $2,400 last year, and in front of my audience, turned it into $53,000. I'm telling you guys that because it's all public. I did it. Go watch my older videos. I did it and shared my portfolio. That's why my page took off, because they were doing it too. I took advantage of a bull market because I took the time to do the study. Okay? And so now, good people, it's really much easier than it used to be, because you got people like me shining a light and doing the R&D on these companies and just presenting you with the facts, and it's up to you to make your moves. But we have to understand that you only got 8 hours a day, and then tomorrow you're one step closer to death.
Yeah, let me jump in here. That's pretty good. Time. That's good. All right. Y'all need to rewind that, everything that he just said there, because that's going to help you with your time. Dr. Jones, you're getting endorsements in your inbox, aren't you? Email.
Yes.
Larry Jones, you get endorsements, don't you?
I get 30 offers a day, and I am partners with I'm partners with one of the biggest crypto companies in the world, and one of the 5th largest trading platforms in the world. So I am partners with them, and they sought me. And I'm not saying that to be braggadocious. I'm saying that it's time for us to get our seat at the table. Yeah. Can I say this really quick, Walter? Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now that if I'm in a desert and I got 1,000 people with me and I see a bottle of water, and there's no drinking water for 1,000 miles, it's okay for me to drink it because we're all going to die. But if I go over a sand hill and I see an ocean of clean drinking water and I don't let the family know, then shame on me. I'm simply trying to let the family know there is plenty. It's not a fish tank, it's an ocean. But you need to wake up and refocus your entire life. Go ahead.
Yeah. I asked about the endorsements based off of the point that you're making, that if you got something, people want it, and you're leveling the playing field. I get endorsement offers every day. There was an email, I didn't know that, I had forgotten that another email was attached to my YouTube channel. I don't check it. I hadn't checked it in months. I went over there to check it one day, and I had endorsements up the wazoo. Okay? Why? Because they saw me going live every day, and they saw my numbers going, and they says, we don't care what you're talking about. We want you to endorse our product. They don't care what you're talking about, okay? Because they see a success. Now, you mentioned the wealth transfer. We have grandchildren. We have grandchildren, okay? This is the time where the Generation X is supposed to be preparing themselves, or already have done it, passing down that wealth transfer to that millennials, okay?
Yes.
Because baby boomers did it for us. And unfortunately, it's the other persuasions seem to benefit and find joy in the time of wealth transfer. We don't. Our generation seem
Start
to
a custodial account for your kids and your
suffer.
grandkids.
We suffer because we don't understand the brilliance of wealth transfer. We can jump. What's that game with the jump rope? Jump in, jump out, jump side to side, jump on, jump in.
What you know about that?
I got two sisters. Okay.
Double Dutch, hopscotch, or what? Double Dutch.
Go ahead, Doc.
Can I say something about that? One of our problems, and I'm preparing to get Larry to come back to the church. I challenged my grandson publicly, and I challenged the church. And I know some didn't too much care for about whatever. So I challenged them. I says, for 1 year, don't buy those Nike shoes or those Air Jordans.
Right.
Them things is $200 and $300.
Right.
Don't buy the PS4 or whatever for 1 year. Take that money that you was going to put in your child's shoes. Let them put the other ones on that you bought last month.
Right.
Take that $300-$400 and invest it in the future of that child. Now, I challenged the church members, and I told my grandson that I was going to get stock up with Larry Jones back, but I'm not going to waste his time. So therefore, I instructed the church that when he comes, I want you to be prepared to invest. I'm not going to just have him to come there so he can talk and we give him a hand. Ain't the Lord beautiful?
I'm not coming for that.
Did not our hearts burn?
Yeah.
You know, that stuff is over with.
Yeah.
So I'm challenging everybody here that, you know what our problem is, Walt? We like to celebrate.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We celebrate crazy. Now everybody's birthday is a whole month.
Yeah.
So that means for a whole month, you're going to be spending.
Yeah.
You know how I spent this pastor's appreciation? I celebrated people.
Yeah.
Because what happened is people will in return celebrate you back.
They will.
So instead of buying all of this stuff, let's take that money and invest it in one of them long terms, and don't be looking for it to come back because we're impatient and we got to have it back in 2 days.
Can I help the people with something really quick, Walter? Is there a
Let me
way
go
to
get the
pull
people.
me
Hold
to
on a
the
minute.
front? I'm sorry. What'd you say, Rodney?
Let me go get the people. You said you want to help me.
The peoples, like James Brown said, the peoples. Can you pull me to the front, Walter? Do you know how to do that?
No, he's not set up. He's not set up for that.
Okay.
If
All
I hit
right.
solo, it's not working.
Okay, listen, look at this. All right, Rodney, you hit the nail on the head. So you're going to buy your son $350 pair of Nikes, right? Number one, he got all D's. He don't deserve it. Number two, and you know it, but I see him at the mall in line. But this is what we need to start doing. We need to stop consuming and start creating. Stop consuming, start creating. Create what, Larry? Generational wealth is what we need to create. If you look here, this is Nike. Nike is $172 a share. In most cases, whatever you want to buy, the stock is cheaper than the product.
Than the product.
If you buy the stock will pay for the product. Okay? So if I see you with $1,000 iPhone, a $1,200 iPhone, and most people are paying like at least $900 for an iPhone. How much is the new iPhone?
Oh, mine costs $1,200.
$1,200, right?
Yeah.
Watch this. $161 for a share of Apple, right? But look at
What
this.
about the oranges?
Right. A year ago, listen, look at this. A year ago, it was $94, right? 5 years ago, it was $29. It's quadrupling. And let me show you guys this, the power of continuing to invest all your life. Look at this chart. That's all time. You could have bought Apple at $1, and you could have bought Apple at 74 cents. 74 cents. So what I'm saying is we have to change our habits. Mm-hmm. Everything we're saying comes down to that. We have to change our habits.
Change your habits.
We have to start investing. Stop saying I can't afford to invest. That's a lie.
Yeah.
If you got $5, because you can buy fractional shares now, you can invest.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to just watch stock all day like I do, just cut on the show and I'm going to show you that. Then you say, hey, I don't want to do that. They have ETFs, a bunch of stock packaged into one. And all you got to do is just buy the same package of stock every week, bi-weekly, monthly, or whenever you get paid. Yeah. And so what happens is, and I don't care if you got a 401k, we killing a 401k. The people that stock up, we killing a 401k. A 401k is passive to us. Yeah. And I'm just telling you right now we're in emerging markets right now. I can tell you guys where a fortune is going to be made from here until the next 10 years, especially from now until 2025. EVs, electric vehicles,
absolutely,
charging stations.
Yeah,
I got charging station stocks. I'm up 580%. You can literally start buying Tesla. Mm-hmm. You can start buying Lucid. You can start buying Ford and General Motors because they have together. They're putting $65 billion towards electrification. But what do we normally do? We wait until it's big and the stock has run up. We don't start buying into the future now. Start investing into the future right now. Here's another thing. Facebook just gave you guys a big hint. And when they went to the metaverse is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry. I'm already invested in it. You know, companies like Nvidia and Facebook. And then there's crypto that is just growing. And so I spend little money. I invest 90% of what I got coming in right now. And I just keep flipping it. And I teach others to do that. And so what we have to do now first is find out what can we do, because I know most people, your job is you need every penny from your job because you've gotten your lifestyle around that. So the best thing you do is tell your kids, after you take care of your 10th to God, the second 10th, pay yourself. See, this is where the church needs to be helpful in teaching, because they don't teach this in school. When you get paid, you give God back his first. And then the second thing you do before you pay your rent, your house note, your mortgage, your credit card, anything, you pay yourself first. And everything else comes after that, including your lifestyle. And your lifestyle should be after those first 2 tenths. If you do that, the average person will be a millionaire in 25 years.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's properly invested.
Yeah, I got to shut this down. My last points here is even the old system of tithing, there was 4 types of tithing. One was a tithe to yourself. That was called a festival tithe. All right. And if God says, eat all of it, that belongs to you. Yeah. So if you're going to teach tithing and you never teach tithing to yourself, you are incorrect. And that's why so many people are poor and they're not coming to church because they don't want to be there during the offering time because they have nothing to give when y'all all stand up with that envelope, so they stay home. Yeah. But right now we are in a new type of industrial revolution like it was in the 20s. You want to ride this wave right now because with the with us moving from oil into more green, okay, from fossil fuel into more solar. You need to ride the wave of these new inventions and wittiness and what have you that's going on, and you're going to sit back and wait like they did back in the 20s, and they waited and said, this is some newfangled thingy, you know, and the older...
And that's when more millionaires are made.
That's when they're made. You know, a lot of the older investors... A lot of the old men investors are trying to wipe out cryptocurrency. They said it's ridiculous, it's stupid, it makes no sense, blah, 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 blah. But yet a lot of these people are making millions on cryptocurrency. So it is a mentality sake, okay? So lastly, you know, he talked about the saving issue. You should not save too much money. You should never do that because of the inflationary rate. If you put all this money away thinking you got a good nest egg, and you keep putting that money away, it's not going to be worth what you put away in just a couple of years. That inflation is eating that cash, because cash is still trash. I don't care what nobody say.
Cash is trash.
It's still trash. All right, so you can't put the money.
You 0.05% of your money, and the rate of inflation is higher than what the bank is paying.
It's too big.
So you're actually losing money by keeping all of your money in
That's right. That's right. So after a certain amount of emergency money you saved away, then from that moment on, you need to be putting that money to where the money can work for itself, as he said earlier. I'm still sitting on my stimulus check that we got, almost a year ago, at the beginning of the year, Biden. I ain't touched that money. When it came to my house, I put it in the emergency fund and still ain't touched it, okay? We have to
The paper
rethink.
or the money?
Well, I put that in the bank, but and then I put it I put it on an online account, so I knew I wasn't gonna touch it. Okay, and I be forgetting that it's there. I be forgetting that it's there.
Good.
All right, so it's a mentality. When I bought my car in 2017, I knew I needed a car, so I bought a car. But I said, "Who gonna pay for this car?" I said, "Uber gonna pay for this car."
That's right.
Uber gonna pay for this car, and
That's
my
right.
brand new car. I went down there to Uber, got it all, legalized. And I hit the road for a few months, and Uber paid the car note over and over and over again till I was able to save some of that money and then start my businesses here at the house, all right? And so all the stuff we're talking about right now is the answer to dig many of you out of an impoverished state. It just takes another shift in your mentality.
One day you wake up and you realize that you've been trading time for money.
Yeah.
And when money is no longer a problem, the most precious, valuable thing in the world to you is time. Then you start thinking about the time that was wasted.
Yeah.
That 8 hours. And so I would like to do a follow-up to this, Walter.
Yeah.
Some months from now.
Sure.
And what we should do then to truly help the people is we need to focus on the whys. We need to help people find their whys, find their gifts.
Yeah.
And find out who took this advice and who monetized it.
Yeah.
Who did a side hustle. This is outside of your job.
Right.
But here's the catch. You can't spend it. You got to invest it.
You got to invest
Because I
it.
can tell you right now, after 6 months of seeing growth of investment, you're going to start doing some more. And it means more to you than a fur coat, a new car. It means more to you when you see your money growing. And it's and it's safe. It's protected. It's a lot of people don't realize. They think, "Oh, well, I got news for you. The money that's in my Fidelity is insured at a higher rate than it is in the bank." And so there's so much that we need to get out of our mindsets that we have not been taught because the school doesn't teach us this.
That's
but
true.
we have to find step one is create a side hustle.
Yeah.
That's step one.
That's step one, and that'll get you very far. We are blessed to have fractionary investing. We're blessed to have that. I'm in it. My daughter is in it. I'm teaching her how to do it, and it is a blessing. So, because I can't afford one Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? I can't afford one.
Hey, I got something called a $5 cup of coffee.
Yeah.
That video got over 1.5 million views because it works. The principle works. Simply investing $5
That's all you need. Start
it
small.
works, and you could buy fractional shares.
That's it. And you are now an owner of a company. It's just that easy,
Absolutely.
y'all. Y'all making it difficult. It's the little foxes that destroy the crop. Go ahead.
There's some principles that's needed in investing or in doing anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did mention time management is one. Patience is another.
Yes.
We don't have patience.
Yeah.
So, and what is that when you constantly do something over and over and over? Discipline.
Discipline.
I think the key thing to anything we do, investing, working, studying, and all of that, is we've got to be disciplined in what we do, and then we've got to be consistent with what we do and continue. So we have what we call a start and stop ministry. We started for a couple of days, but when we don't see no returns immediately, then we quit and we pull back out. And then, but we'll go take what we pull back out and go get some Nikes because we can see that money.
Consumers.
And I agree with what Larry says is your money should be working for you while you sleep. And that's what I love what I'm doing. I worked for years, you all. I worked for years and I have negotiated with people. But as a carpenter, I'm always negotiated down.
Yeah.
I'm never negotiated up. You hear what I'm saying?
Yep.
So now,
Thank you,
I do
Amber
a lot of
Rose,
study.
Amber Rogers.
Yes. I do tons and tons of study and then write my notes and all of that. So while I'm asleep, my notes is going out there doing some things for me.
That's right.
That's that income. That's that
passive
third.
income.
Now I'm getting ready to pass. Yes. So I'm working on my fourth and my fifth one. It's got to work for me, and I'm doing it now.
Yes.
Yes.
But the first thing we got to do is break the habit of being lazy and a procrastinator.
Yes.
Because you will never get nothing done in procrastination.
No.
So would you all agree? The first thing is they need to write down what it is that they want to do.
Absolutely.
Write it down.
Yep.
But you know what,
Write it
Rodney?
down.
I found out that they need to search it out first. Search it out. I challenge everyone to spend a week, and I'm gonna tell you that's why I have this, my hourglass. I'm telling you, if I go on the Facebook to say happy birthday, I turn this thing over, and and when it's done, I'm done, and I get back to business. Because what will happen is we get distracted. So I challenge everybody to use Google and YouTube as your best friends.
Absolutely.
And just start searching and dedicate that time, consecrate that time to find your gift, your God-given gift. I can't expound a word like Rodney can. That's his God-given gift. That's why he's Dr. Jones right now. Okay? and I can't be a shock jock like Walter. That's his gift to gab. Walter has gifts. Walter can tickle those ivories like I could never do. It's not my gift. Good people.
Yeah.
But my gift, God gave it to me. And he designed it just for me. And guess what? People will pay me for my gift just like they'll pay you for your gift. So take some time and find out what your gift is. And these are some of the things after Sunday morning service, for those of you pastors that's listening, that you need to start helping your congregation. Because what will happen is when you start empowering, not all pastors, I know I've been invited by pastors to speak. I thank God for Angie Ray Ministries for having me. She is knocking it out of the park. They are knocking it out of the park. I thank God for Carlos Moody, Faith Temple, for inviting me and Rodney and now coming soon Bishop Sanders, because they want to empower the people. So here's what will happen to your churches, pastors. What will happen is if there's a leak in the roof, now anybody in the church will go, oh, I'll just write a check for that pastor. Let's go on with service. Because if the members are doing well, the church is doing well.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good. Change your lifestyle. Who was that said that? And you change your whole life? Or change your altitude. Yeah, Father
G.
Yeah, G. All right. I wake up every morning now and eat breakfast, something I didn't do for 40 years. I'm not a breakfast person. Now I wake up every morning, make breakfast, and try my best to work out these bones. I hired a trainer to do what I need to do for my body because I was ignorant. I don't know what to eat. I don't know how to work out. So I outsourced someone to help me with this. This is what we're trying to say to y'all. You don't know what you're doing, so you outsource. You and it's free. I'm paying this guy, but you guys, this information, we have something that our forefathers didn't have. We have the internet. They had to go to libraries and get an encyclopedia. The man had to come to the house. You remember the Britannica that came to our house? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I help Sister Belinda? Belinda, you said find your passion. Belinda, what I'm going to tell you is that's not true. And what I'm going to tell you, and I'm not saying that to disagree with you, I'm saying this to empower you because there's some gift that you have that you may not think is brilliant. Because, I did a message called Tap Into Your Brilliance. You may think the thing that you're passionate about is what everybody wants, and nobody will take it. I can tell you the most expensive room in my house is my recording studio, right? I've been doing that all my life. I thought nothing of my investing. I thought nothing of it, right? But because I was good at it, I shared it. And it's the thing that exploded. And so, Sister Belinda, what I want to help you with is don't look for the thing that you're passionate about. I want to be crystal clear with this because we don't have time to waste time with your life because we're trading time for money. I want you to find what you're good at and what people will pay you for. Don't get your passion involved yet because I can guarantee two things will happen. Number one, you're going to start making money. Number two, you will become passionate about that, and watch don't your life change.
Amen. All right, I'm gonna cut y'all off because if I keep getting interjected by a Jones, I'm gonna have to pull out my pistol because you Negroes just won't stop.
Get your pistol ready.
Hey, we trying to help the people, man.
We can't help them in one night. We can't help them all in one night.
I know. I want results. I want
gotta
to see
send these
people
folk to
come
bed.
back with progress reports.
All right.
I want progress reports.
Well, let's turn this into a Tuesday thing, man. If y'all game,
Bless you, Belinda. Yes.
Yeah.
And keep me posted, Belinda. Whatever that why is, your why is screaming out really loud.
Yeah, let's turn this into a Tuesday affair. Because that is the setup for the Sirwalterj Jones show. The finances, I believe, is on Tuesday. That's my financial show. So let's do the follow up. When Dr. Jones talked about the Nike issue with the shoes and the expense of the shoes, when Nike sent me an endorsement offer, they were saying, "Listen, here's $4,000. Put our stuff on. All right." Mm-hmm. And not only will give you that for free, we'll pay you for just mentioning our product. Well, he just showed you the Nike stock. Larry, how much was the Nike stock?
161. No, I'm sorry. The Nike stock is $172.
$172. Nike is paying me. Okay. So, just to mention their name because that is a multi-billion-dollar company who wants a little guy with 13,000 subscribers. They want me to talk about their product. And so whatever you got, if it's interesting, somebody want to pay you for it. This is the major topic tonight. Somebody want to pay you for it, all right? And
Evangelist Titra.
Yeah, she's
Evangelist Titra.
My
somebody
why.
is going to pay you for your why.
Yeah,
they're going to pay you good for your why, and it's going to blow your mind. They're going to pay you at a rate greater than what you're making hourly on your job.
Yeah, amen. All right, we are done, y'all. Hit the share button if you're on YouTube. It was about 300 of y'all total from YouTube to Facebook to what's that other thing I'm tied to? Twitter. Twitter. Okay.
Yeah, Twitter.
Twitter's in your amplifier.
The woofer account. There's about 300 of y'all tonight. So I'm praying and hoping that the 300 of y'all got some good information. You learned something tonight take this back to your churches and see if y'all could get the church to do something like in helping the people invest into their whole lives, their minds, their bodies, and their souls. The pastor don't know everything, okay? Matter of fact, he may get arrested one day, depending on how the government changes its structure. They're going to come in your church and arrest your pastor for impersonating the doctor, the financial investor, okay? Let's see what else. The judge. All right, the lawyer, he's everything. So y'all got to be careful.
People don't get involved. All I know is they told me if I send them $100, I'm gonna get $400 back. Don't get involved in that. That's not investing.
Right.
That's something that eventually it's like a pyramid scheme. Eventually, you're gonna send money. It's not gonna come back.
Absolutely.
That is not investing.
Right.
Just because somebody got some money back, it's not investing. Eventually, it runs out. That's not investing.
I'm trying to tell you, man. I gotta turn all y'all off. Wave at the people. Say goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
That's my brothers, y'all, and they will go on all night long if you don't stop them. But I tell you, everything they said was worth its weight in gold. We needed this, all right? And I'm hoping that y'all hit the rewind button. Be kind, rewind, and play this over and over again so that it can stick into your mind. Remember what he said about the 8. You've got 888. When you get home, when you wake up tomorrow, while you're at your job, try figure out a plan to work out that 8. I wake up now earlier than I've ever have before in my life, and it feels good. It's difficult to wake up, but once I wake up and shift my body and get some breakfast in me and some protein, man, my body's ready to rule the world. And I should have done this a long time ago, but so what? I'm doing it now. All right? So thank y'all for coming by. Again, share this if you're on Facebook. Share with all of the people that you know in your family. And let's get this wealth transfer going in our lives. I love y'all. I'm going to take tomorrow and Thursday off. I deserve a break today, okay? So tomorrow and Thursday, I'm going to enjoy my family. Rebecca just sent me a video while I was down here that Amir took his first step. So if y'all saw me looking over to the side, she videoed it, and Amir took his first step while we were on this show, okay? So I'm going to go up there.
He finna go slice some more tires up.
He finna go slice some more tires. Yeah. So I'm so excited that my grandson took his first step, and she was able to capture that on the camera. So I'm going to go up here and love on that boy before he go to bed, because he's tired now. Them legs are working. All right. I love y'all. I'll see y'all Friday for questions and answers. Friday. L. Jones, you know what? That would be great.
Yes, sir.
Doc, if you would come on a Friday and help me answer these questions for Friday at 9 o'clock. The questions and answers, all right? Do that. It's a biblical night, and they just ask. You don't know what the questions are, all right?
I've heard them.
All right.
I've been there.
They ask them, and we answer them.
I have round table on Thursdays.
Oh, okay. Well, then you understand it. Yeah, meet me. I know it's after Thanksgiving, and you're gonna have a fat belly, but come and quench. Come and dine with us on this Friday at 9. Can you come? Figure it out. Talk to the missus.
I don't think that they can hear me talking, but you can hear me talking. But yes.
Oh yeah, they can hear you talking because they can hear you because I turned on my phone here. Figure it out. Talk to the missus. Yeah, you hear that?
We can still hear you.
Yeah, they can hear you.
Oh, darn
they
it!
can hear you.
But thank goodness we can't see.
They can hear you. All right, so come back, Doc Jones Friday and help me out 9 p.m. All right, okay, y'all.
Yes, sir.
We've done enough. We'll talk to y'all Friday, and we're gonna enjoy our times out. All right, we've got Sirwalterj will be on the show. We've already shot her portion, and we will be playing her portion. I think I'm just gonna do it on Sunday evening at 9 o'clock. So we can talk more about
sexual
that.
chocolate.
No, Sirwalterj.
Oh, Shaka Khan, you said?
Sirwalterj. That's y'all sister. Sirwalterj. That's y'all sister. Yeah, that's one of Rodney's worldwide members.
Yes. You know, she found me before she found you.
She did find you before she found me. That's right. But now she's my member. She's my member.
Yeah.
All right.
See, member stealing.
She's
Member stealing.
She's my member. All right. She'll be on Sunday, okay? And we'll see y'all then Friday. All right. Bless y'all. Take care of yourselves and one another.
When fake saints go to worship, that's when the ignorance will take place.
I don't give a damn about no time limit.
What? When fake saints don't get their way, all of Satan's powers are displayed.
Don't put your hands on my shit.
When fake saints
Well, goodbye. 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 Enjoy yourselves. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Bye. Well, goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Fellas, does it seem like you can't get a good woman? Ladies, wonder why you can't keep a man? Then read The 4 Women That Men Desire, Volume 1, by Sirwalterj to figure out how to break the cycle. Go to Amazon.com to get your copy today.